Hello, welcome back to Crusader Shorts and welcome to a new video. So today we're going to be answering a community question, or a question that has been left in the comment section of one of my recent videos. Recently I actually did a video on my channel which was called What If Mace Windu Killed Palpatine? So if you want to know about this sort of alternate plot, it kind of has a fan theory of mine, and I created a whole narrative for it and things like that, so that's pretty cool. If you want to know about that, go on my channel and watch that video. And also, if you enjoy it, please click like and make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future lore videos and news delivered to your subscription feed each week. So, with that out of the way, I looked in the comments, and I always say that I do reply to the comments, and I do mean that, and I thought that this comment warranted a video. So, user Paparanakin said yesterday to me, he said, I have a Star Wars related question. I was wondering if you can answer it for me. It's about the Jedi and Sith, especially, or specifically, perhaps, the lightsabers and the Force being used in combat. So, he goes on to say, why do Jedi and Sith fight each other with lightsabers, if they have powers like the Force Push and Force Lightning? Yoda Force Push Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith, and more Force Push Kenobi mid-battle in TPM. Like, why would Darth Maul pull out his lightsaber instead of force pushing both Kenobi and Jin and just using his powers only? Like, why do they fight with a weapon if they have these powers? So obviously he's talking about the Phantom Menace, that's what he means by TPM. So we're going to get into the question. So why do Sith use their lightsabers in battle as well as Jedi, rather than just using the Force powers? So first of all, we're going to get onto a little picture here. As you can see, the infamous scene in Revenge of the Sith, which has been memed, so many memes of this scene, and probably my favourite film out of the whole franchise. So in Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine uses his Force powers and he just obliterates Mace Windu, I mean obviously with the assistance of Anakin. But we have to take into consideration that this is when he's unarmed. It doesn't really matter if he intentionally threw the fight, or if he won the or if he lost fair and square, which is obviously a constant argument, and I might make a video on that in the future. But he's unarmed here, so that's an instance of the Sith using Force Lightning, but he's unarmed, and it's a great weapon, obviously, when you're unarmed. But why does Sith and Jedi not use the Force when they've got lightsabers during combat? Because surely they could just shoot lightning during combat and just kill their opponent straight away, or break their neck with the Force or something like that. Well, I have a few different pieces of information. So, we need to take into account that there is a scene in Episode 2, which is Attack of the Clones, and it's Yoda versus Count Dooku. So, in this scene, Yoda moves very large objects to prevent the death of Obi-Wan and Anakin. Obviously, Count Dooku's throwing these objects towards them to try and kill them, and also to try and slow down Yoda, because he's, you know, planning his escape so he doesn't get arrested by the Jedi, etc. And Yoda moves these large objects, and it takes a great deal of power, and it obviously exhausts Yoda. Force powers can drain the energy or life force of the user, so it requires a great deal of concentration, as seen by Yoda in this scene. So, I'm just going to play a clip of the scene which I'm talking about. So, if we just skip along, I'm not sure if you can hear this, I'm just going to mute it, because I don't think it really needs to be heard. But as you can see, Dooku's throwing objects. Later on, he does throw more objects, like here, he throws some of the wall down, which Yoda has to push away. That's no real feat for Yoda to actually move. But, as you can see, as the scene progresses, Dooku starts picking up heavier objects to throw at Yoda. So, obviously Dooku's using the Force himself. He uses lightning, which is no match for Count Dooku, which is no match for Yoda, sorry, and Yoda shoots it back. So then he moves on to a different strategy. So, if we can just find the part of the scene, there isn't like much of a real fight. I mean, they do fight a bit, but he force pushes a lot of objects. So, because of this, which is sort of the start, he force pushes some of the wall down. Because of this, Yoda uses a great deal of energy, and you can see him quite exhausted at the end. Another aspect is, if they use something mid-combat, such as in this lightsaber duel, I've just paused the video now because it was buffering anyway, but if they use the Force powers mid fight in the duel, they would let their guard down. For an example, they might be exposed to certain lightsaber blows or a counter-attack with the Force if they're going to go that way. And one more aspect is you've got to take into consideration that the Jedi protect themselves rather than going on the offensive. I mean, this isn't always the case, but the Jedi are obviously all about using defense, as you can see. For an example, to use a reference to back up my claim about this, is in episode 3, Anakin, when he does actually kill Count Dooku, he says he was an unarmed, I think he said something like he was unarmed or something like that. He shouldn't have killed him. Of course, if an enemy is unarmed or if they get disarmed, a Jedi doesn't really want to kill them or go on the offensive and just kill them mid-duel. They'd rather apprehend them or find another means rather than just killing them, because that's obviously the path to the dark side and all the lore and everything. So that's another piece of information, and it's an aggressive use of the powers, so they don't really want to sway to the dark side or just use unnecessary force, and it just exhausts them. So the final answer to this question is moving large objects and using some of these powers, especially lightning, after the Emperor takes a sigh of relief and he also seems quite weak. You can see his body's being taxed, not just visually but emotionally as well. So it uses a great deal of power to use these different force powers, if you like, and it drains their energy. It makes them weaker during fight. It lets the guard down, and it's very aggressive for Jedis to use these. Obviously Sith, it probably wouldn't be a problem for them. So I hope this answers the question. I hope other people might find this useful. Maybe you actually know more about this than me. I actually really enjoy people leaving extra information I didn't know or that I didn't include in the video, and I'd like you to go in the comment section down below and include any extra information or ideas for new videos, and let me know, and I will read them and possibly make a video like this on it, just a short video. If you enjoyed the video and it helped you in any way, please watch this video as well, leave it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss weekly lore Star Wars news. And I do a few different videos on the channel. So with that, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.